CNN legal analyst Shanlon Wu, a defense attorney and former federal prosecutor. Gentlemen, thank you both for being here. Errol, I want to start with you. And I want to start with this information that Parnas has said. According to his attorney, he's willing to tell Congress about Representative Nunes meeting with ex-Ukrainian official to get dirt on Biden. Nunes is the top Republican on the House Intelligence Committee. Help clarify the juxtaposition that we're seeing here. We've got the image of him in the last 2 weeks, taking it all in from the witnesses that we've seen in this impeachment inquiry, and now we've got this image of him meeting with Shokin. Can you reconcile either of those things with us?
Well, look, it is reminiscent of what we've seen from Representative Nunes in the past. If you remember, in the early days of the administration, he got wind of some information that might have been helpful to the Trump administration, ran straight to the White House, literally, it's sort of a cloak and dagger kind of operation, and tried to inform them. He apparently has never really surrendered his position as a part of the Trump transition team. He clearly sees himself as part of the White House effort. In this case, we just watched him over the last week, time and time again, go on at length about how the entire proceedings and the basis of the proceedings of the impeachment investigation were a sham and a circus and a shame and a farce, and on and on and on and on he went. Well, if it was a circus, apparently he was in the center ring. Apparently he was a real participant in all of this, and much of that is going to come to light. It's very easy for him to say he'll never talk to CNN or other news organizations, but sooner or later the information will in fact come out.
And with that said, what is the responsibility of Nunes now, Shan?
Well, the responsibility of Nunes is a complex question. I mean, you could say the moral responsibility is he should come forward. Legally, he's in a tough spot. I mean, he's got some exposure. I think from the trial strategy of the impeachment, this is a huge gift for the Democrats. Maybe they can't call Nunes himself because he's one of the questioners, but if they put on direct testimony, for example, from Parnas about his involvement, that will be a devastating blow to the entire Republican strategy with him leading it.
So I want to move on to this newly released State Department document that says the White House actually helped arrange this phone call between Rudy Giuliani and Secretary of State Pompeo. We just heard Pompeo's reaction to that testimony that he says he hadn't seen when he was asked about it. But what is the significance of that reporting?
Well, my sense is that what we're going to see the White House have to do or try to do is assert some kind of executive privilege and try and make all of this go away. The reality is, though, if you track statement by statement what the president has said, what Rudy Giuliani has said, and what the Secretary of State has said, they've never really denied that they were working in this direction, but this is irrefutable proof. This sort of gives you dates and times and sort of shows that this was a White House effort all along. More importantly, it takes you very, really right to the door of the Oval Office. And for the president to claim that he didn't know what was going on, I think this sort of gets rid of any lingering doubts that there might have been some rogue operation, that Rudy Giuliani was being overzealous, or that the Secretary of State wasn't keeping the president fully informed of what was going on.
So when we look at these two headlines today, Shan, I'm curious as to if the Democrats' deadline of Christmas and this impeachment going through by then, if that's realistic now. I mean, aren't these two elements that would now have to be reconciled somehow, that would have to be certainly either confirmed in some capacity?
Well, I think they could keep to the deadline. They can kind of just keep pushing forward. On this new information with regard to what Parnas is saying about Nunes, I mean, if Parnas is willing to testify, other people with direct knowledge of that are willing to testify, they can simply put them on there, and I think that's going to be very powerful evidence for them. On the Giuliani-Pompeo connection, even if Pompeo and Giuliani themselves never agreed to testify for whatever legal reasons they mount, I think they can still go forward just on the basis of these documents. I mean, I think to Errol's point, if they try to use executive privilege, I think they're going to have a hard time wrapping Giuliani in that cloak, especially given his own statements that he's working as the president's personal attorney. So I think, the fact that some of these documents are starting to come forward, and I think it's really quite an amazing testament to our system that they're coming forward under the Freedom of Information Act, while the Republicans are ready to fight in court over the congressional subpoena, regular citizens are able to get these documents and put them forth. It's those documents, I think, that are really going to be the key to unlocking some of this.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Errol Lewis, you stay with us. I know that you've got more to talk about. Shan Wu, always appreciate your insight. Thank you both.
Good to see you.